I only barely escaped with my life. I couldn't save Loris. When it all went to madness, he fell and tangled himself in a massive web. I grabbed his notebook and ran, tripping on web and bone. Screams echoed behind me. There was a sound of scuttling legs. I felt a sharp pain in my head, some horrible mouth clipping and slicing at me as I tumbled. I've applied dressing, but it all aches like a burn. I must get this map and notebook back. I must find a way out of this wretched place. The path we marked is blocked at every turn by mist wraiths. I found temporary reprieve in the vaults. The sound of chittering grows louder. I can still hear it. Almost feel them crawling over my skin. I'll find a way out after I close my eyes. Just a moment. I must preserve energy and rest this leg. Have to return these documents to the Grand General. It's my duty. I still have my duty. We've been experimenting with the local supplies, so I thought I'd come up with a quick and easy noodle recipe. Everything is neatly packed inside the banana leaf, and it lasts for years. Ingredients: dried flour noodles, fermented cabbage, carrot, crushed soybeans, wrapped tightly in separate banana leaf, peanuts, spicy peppers, limes, cilantros, green eggs, and onions. Instructions: once you set up camp, add noodles to boiling water. Add chopped carrots and cabbage to boiling water. Add the crushed soybeans. Don't worry if they turned into a black paste. That's intentional and the secret to the flavor. Let boil for 6 minutes. Add spicy peppers. Your call on how much you can handle. Cover and boil, stirring until noodles are puffy. When noodles are almost done, spoon in crushed peanuts for that extra crunch. When the broth has an even creamy consistency, remove and pour into the bowl. Mix in lime juice to taste. Garnished with chopped green onions and soft-boiled egg. Delicious. The Blackbirds linger. 3 sages turn to face their vaulted haven. Tyro Eurydes, number 1 from 4 views of the Vault of the Blackbirds. The fox gazes past the sacred grove towards the home of the Blackbirds. North wind brushes the giant's face. He watches distant blackbirds. A shadow falls from the southwest. The dark vault smothers each flapping. What have you done, Tyro? You go and write your masterpiece and then disappear just like that? Taken by the ruination like all the lucky saps who were spared the torture of surviving it? Taken before I could even meet you? I don't believe it. I don't believe any of them. You knew, didn't you, that the western vault would be overtaken by shadow, that the sacred grove would be petrified in place, but most of all, that the Vault of the Blackbirds is real, that it isn't myth or a metaphor. That's where you are, aren't you? Safe and sound while I rot away in this prison. Of course, I can hear them saying, don't you think the vault is just a metaphor? It isn't unlike Tyro to be metaphorical after all. Clearly the giant in number 3 refers to the Vault of the Giants, and the fox in number 2 refers to the vault in which the Vesani worked. Could the home of the Blackbirds be a metaphor as well? But that is ridiculous! You include metaphors in your poems, Tyro, but not in the titles. I know, for instance, that your early poem, The Sacred Grove Speaks to Me, is non-metaphorical, that it refers to the home of the guardian spirit of the woods, Maokai. It would be absolutely ludicrous for such an author as consistent as you to break your own conventions but a single time, and for no apparent reason except to confound me in particular. No, I cannot lapse into despair. I will find the Vault of the Blackbirds. I must. These decades of torment cannot and will not be wasted. The only mystery now left is the meaning of the first poem. Who are the wise sages? Is there any meaning in the word turn? Looking back, maybe it has something to do with that peculiar statue in the Vault of the Giants. It seems to point towards nothing in particular. Perhaps it has some part to play in this mystery? I will get out of here, and once I do, I will go to that statue and I will decipher your secrets, my distant friend. Day 237. I miss our home terribly, but our work alongside the researchers of Helya is nothing short of revolutionary. The white mist is even more intriguing than we first thought. Coupled with our memory transfer spells, we've been able to utilize it as conduit. The applications of this technology could have long-standing benefits to Vesani, to the whole world, and it's important that we continue our work. Day 384. The vault remains strangely quiet and cold. I do wish we had picked somewhere else to house our research, but the people of Helya have been kind to grant us any space at all. Our relationship remains mutually beneficial, with a healthy share of knowledge and access to their technology, but I get the feeling that they remain skeptical of our true intent. The white mist will be the key, and surely the work we do here will be remembered as nothing short of revolutionary. In my continued conversing with the creature known as Maokai, I have gleaned many new insights into the nature of plant spirits. Maokai claims to be older than the islands themselves, thriving on the reserves of blessed water that run deep below the island. I can only begin to theorize that these waters are what dissolve into the white mist and are responsible for its unique properties. Tomorrow we are to have a picnic, and I'll bring some of the Vesani wine I've been saving. I wonder if Maokai will enjoy it. Day 294. I fear some of my allies are growing complacent. We've been stationed here for some time, and we mustn't lose sight of our main purpose. Our tribe has long been concerned with unearthing the past, seeking out artifacts of magical import. But our main cause cannot be lost. We must always work towards the betterment of this world, and towards the preservation of knowledge. The scholars of Helia are unified with us in this cause, but alas, we cannot forget the very tenets that led us to this island in the first place. Day 334. Yesterday marked an important date in Golem trials. One of the constructs managed to walk a full 3 steps on its own, and I swear I saw some kind of life behind its stone eyes. The mist transfer spell was only partially complete, so I'm hoping with a bit more time I can use the magic to fully power a construct. I wish my father could see me now. Day 234. That creepy librarian was lurking around the vault again yesterday. Something about him is unsettling, and I get the sense he should not be leaving his post. He clung to his lantern as if there wasn't appropriate lighting to the chamber. I know I should not be suspicious of our hosts, but that man, Grail, there's something dark in his mind, I'm sure of it. Day 438. As Vesani, we pride ourselves in our connection to emotions in the soul, as well as a deep understanding of the memories of mortal beings. With the aid of technology, Helia's wisdom, and the white mist, we have finally devised a method of storing memories in the crystals, to record a living history, to truly preserve the past. That is our goal. We will forge a great living library, and all the world will blossom with the seeds of our knowledge. Day 567. Being stuck in this vault has me missing the field. As a wandering tribe, we have called many places home, but being confined to this vault, it is stifling. At least we have our research and our mission, to preserve the knowledge of the past, to seek out magic to better the world. That optimism will have to be my guiding light, I suppose. Traded a sea of dunes for one of brine. Both had their share of monsters. There's one I'll never forget till the day they returned my bones to Shuriman Sands. Took our diver to the depths, and Captain told them to cut the line. I watched as they did, because I didn't want it to be me next. I knew he wasn't coming back. These days, I hear tell of a specter who comes round with hooks and rope, drags his victim to who knows where. No one comes back. They say he has a list and crossing off names. He's already crossed off too many. No, I'm there somewhere. Wasn't going to be the first, but I'm on there. I feel it. It's only a matter of time. I won't stay in Bilge any longer. It's time for me to return to Shurima. I'll be safe from him in those rolling dunes. I've only got one night left. We sail in the morn, but I can't help but hear that rope snapping. Feel his eyes staring at the back of my head. Wait. I shouldn't have started down this path. It all began with just one choice, a moment of weakness where I gave in to greed. I didn't need the talisman, but I wanted it. Wanted the luck he said it would bring. Our village needed greener crops, and we needed the money from the market. We became rich. We had everything we wanted. I thought it would be over after that, but I kept wanting more. Fine clothes, new homes, better friends. He came back and offered me what I wanted again and again. The last time we met, he said he would be in Bilgewater if I needed him. I'm so far from my home. I sorely miss the warm sand beneath my feet. I shouldn't have come here. The people in this city would sooner gut me than lend me a hand. I can feel his presence, see his likeness everywhere. The River King. I'm to meet him tonight. I can't stop myself. I want more. No, I need more. And only he can provide. Dearest cousin, it is worse and better than you imagine here. Bilgewater is a cesspit. The Pelangi bathe infrequently and stink often. Worse, they do not understand clean water. They are surrounded by our ancient works but lack the knowledge of how to rebuild or use them. To live in Bilgewater is to live like an animal. Yet, I follow Alawi's edicts with joy. I was useless at home. Our island did not need me, but here I am, a chieftain, of sorts. Being a gang boss gives me the opportunity to teach our customs and to learn the Pelangi's ways. And this has filled me with a great purpose. For the first time, I know swim well in my life. Slowly, we will civilize these foreigners, And once they have learned the way of Nakakebaros, we will show them other islands. Give Auntie Totoa and little Iki my love. And I hesitate to ask, but how is your sister? I know she was doing work for the temples, but I wonder. I miss her, if I could. Signed, Oaku. Rhodey, you and the Bullet Butcher gained reward, and still failed to show respect. Pelangi, it is time for you to swim to other waters. This neighborhood is ours. You thought your Piltover weapons would impress us? You know nothing of my culture. You have no wave bringers, no serpent collars. The Buru who stand with me could flatten you in an instant, with the tiniest pressure of our smallest fingers. And now our Freljordian Iceborn stands with us. Also, Nakakebaros brings all sorts of the best and strongest together. Are you frightened yet? I left the crushed bodies of your warriors on your ships. Scrape their remains from the docks and go back to whatever harbor will accept you. Signed, Lil Oaku. Aigolo, I am sending a Pelangi to you called Urfson. He is what is called a Freljordian Iceborn, but I have made him a part of my gang and my little brother, and he thought well and loyally for me. He has married Amoko and was even tested by the great Delawi herself. Urfson is a fine sailor, and we think he is ready to learn of the underseas and deep ways. Please, I beg this opportunity and ask you to help him if you can. He has been my greatest accomplishments these past few years. Swim well, my cousin. Signed, Oaku. Oaku. Yes, I have much enjoyed the company of your adopted brother Urfson. His accent is so hilarious. I have decided not to hold his marriage to Omoko against him. Yes, truly he has been useful, though not in the deep ways. He takes the water so easily, and he can stand the cold of the depths and the night sea so well. He is uneducated, but a good worker and strong-hearted. I will ensure his education in the deep ways. But first he is helping me ready some fields for planting. Tell Omoko her husband will be accepted here, and perhaps even allowed to go to Buru itself. As for my sister, I am sorry, Oaku. She told me she didn't want to speak to you and would not accept any letters from you. Signed, Ayoro. Do not forget, you are but the tiniest drop of life, held briefly in shape, and you, like a raindrop, must flow back towards the ocean, and then back to the sky again. This is your destiny. But what great things can a tiny raindrop accomplish? Rain slowly cuts apart mountains. Are you the first drop that will reshape the lands, due to bring new farms and villages in the future? For what is a tidal wave but what is a tidal wave but millions of raindrops? Are you the first water that will rise? Your father is dead, as all must die, as you will eventually. But while you still can, you must live, and you must fight. For we are all in Nagakebaros. Signed, High Priestess Ioana Yer, speaking to the chieftain Jaga. The foolish person chases only the simple pleasures easily caught: food, fermented juices, and sex. For Nagakebaros denies us nothing, and without these things we die. But swim too long in only those waters and stagnation will fester, as a fish in a tank trap will turn the water foul with its own excrement. So too will your desires and soul fester. Instead, my student, I suggest you focus on how you might progress towards greatness and changing the world. In this way you serve our goddess. In this way you find fulfillment. It is your wildest dreams and desires that serve Nakakebaros. Chase those. Chase that which is not easily caught. Defeat that which is not easily defeated. Free yourself to want. Free yourself to dream. And swim onward into uncharted waters. Signed, Truth-Bearer Oaxia. A clay tablet with scattered scratchings in the Zihon script of Ionia. I kill. I remove that which stops the flow. All is Nagakebaros. Is it not better to return energy to the universe rather than let it turn on itself and fester? This is the way of a warrior who serves Nagakebaros. Death serves her. Souls return to her. It reminds me of Zed's teachings. More focused, more of a purpose. I wish you could hear what the priests and priestesses have to say here. They anoint me tomorrow. I took such a tangled path here, so much movement, thrashing like a trapped eel. But this is what the goddess wanted. One day I shall return to my old master. I shall show him how he stagnates. I shall open his eyes. At sunrise, we were treated to a delightful surprise. Our brothers and sisters from the Blessed Isles have arrived. It has been many seasons since we've seen them, and there is a tentative excitement in the air. A feast was immediately called to celebrate their arrival. The Blessed Isles are rich in magics, clearly, a blessing of the Mother Serpent, and knowing our allies brave such a massive divide to grace us with their presence and ingenuity is indeed a blessing. I look forward to catching up with the elders and continuing to learn their ways, as well as impart the wisdom of the Mother Serpent unto them. I am honored to be part of this mission. Having never left the Blessed Isles before, I am intrigued to meet our longtime allies across the sea. The people of the Serpent Isles are wise in many ways. They have sustained themselves off the lifeblood of the sea, harnessing its bounty and magic. They speak of their goddess, Nagakeboros, and I am intrigued to discover more of their traditions and magic. I have formed a quick kinship with these people, no doubt due to our shared thirst for knowledge and a love for sweet fruit. We've spent the last few weeks learning from each other, and I have to say that my first excursion has been memorable. We've begun discussing to work together on forging a great work, a temple that might utilize the magic of the Serpent Isles with the ingenuity of the Blessed Isles. Signed, Blessed Isles Acolyte. We draw our power from the Mother Serpent's hearth, and there is no greater place of power than below the waves. While we have learned to navigate the waters well, we have only scratched the surface of what lies below. Our friends from the Blessed Isles have shared a wondrous insight, an incantation that allows us to venture below the waves. Together, we have found a particularly potent spot on the ocean's floor, a blessing, to be sure. Amazed at the possibilities, we have begun to construct a temple below the sea. Once, I would have thought this impossible, but the Mother Serpent has blessed us with these new magics and friends, and together we will build a monument to her, as close to her very heart as we have ever been. Signed, Yunoka of the Buru. The temple has been completed. It is a work of beauty, a true fusion of Blessed Isles' ingenuity and the Serpent Isles' wisdom. Our mission, to explore the Serpent Isles and harness its magic, has been a resounding success. The goddess the people refer to as Nagakeboros has a potent magic, and within this temple we have harnessed it. Much like the Blessed Waters, the goddess seems to possess a force of preservation, though her people demand that only the worthy may partake in her blessing. We prepare to bid farewell to the people of the Serpent Isles, but we hope that this monument to our shared ingenuity and blessed maintains, may all who are lost and seek the guidance of the Mother Serpent find their way here. Signed, Blessed Isles Acolyte. We speak in hushed whispers of the Mother Serpent's hearth, a place that has been forgotten, lost to us in the ocean of time. The forces of the sea are fierce. Perhaps there was a hubris in hoping to make a home at the bottom of the sea, as creatures of the deep are drawn to the fury of the Mother Serpent's embrace. Now, powerful creatures protect where men once walked. Perhaps we will one day rediscover the temple our ancestors left behind. Who knows what power may remain there, deep below the waves. Unknown Buru warning. Fire started while I slept. The irony is not lost on me. That embers I thought dead stirred to life, waking me only when the smoke was thick and choking. Too late to run. Then, all was aflame. Now, in death, I prefer to let smoke remind me of you instead. Of winters at your side, too few in hindsight. Reading in the light of a blazing hearth fire with our fingers intertwined, keeping the cold at bay. The Shadow Isles are always bitterly cold, and there is little to keep warm by other than remembered heat. But memories go confused with time, indistinguishable. The hearth, you, the campfire, the embers, the flame, your face by flickering firelight. You whisper my name as the fire consumes me. I smell my flesh burning. It is a fight to keep the memories distinct, but I must, so that something of me remains untouched by a fire, so that it is your memory alone that keeps me warm. Eternally yours.